Hello and welcome back to the Deep Space Carrier series here in Elite Dangerous. We are on the second of a twin pair of planets that each had 9 biological sources on it. So we just got here and scanned the first of the 9 species here. We're probably not going to be able to get all 9 species because usually they're spread out enough that you're not going to be able to just grab them all. But we'll get like hopefully 4 or 5 of them before we head out of here and move on with our exploration. Before we get too far into the video, I'd like to ask you to help us to reach that next major channel milestone of 10,000 subscribers by pressing the subscribe button. The number does not go up unless you actually press the button, so go ahead and do that now. Like the video to spread it out to more people. And then when you're done watching this video here, we do have more than 1,600 other videos, all gaming videos, organized in a nice, neat little playlist. Oh, wow, really? We're too close to that one. Organized in a nice, neat little playlist for your convenience, and I play all different kinds of games, so there will be something over there for you. For today, we are continuing to do exobiology, as you can see here. Unfortunately, I guess I just didn't go far enough away from that sample. We're running around, as you can see, in the Mamba, because we have our carrier, and that allows me to take all different kinds of ships with me, because we're not really so worried about jump range when we're basically making everything more about the carrier than anything else. So we can kind of hop to a location. We do a carrier reposition live stream every Sunday at 6. So if you're interested, come hang out with us for that. Trying to come up with some ideas for different events that we could do during those live streams rather than it just be me talking for an hour while we do 3 jumps. If we could figure out maybe trying to figure out doing some racing or something, that would be more of a community. Did I do sample already analyzed? Did I do all 3? Oh, I think we were looking for the next one. Okay. I lost track of what we were doing in the last episode, and yeah, now we're wasting time because I'm trying to scan things that we've already scanned. So, okay. But yeah, like I was saying, I would really like to try to figure out something fun that we can all do that would allow people to come and actually participate rather than just, because, you know, I know some people are going to want to just sit and watch the live stream because they just want to chill and not have to do anything. But I think some people would really like being able to actually come into the game, come to the carrier and do some kind of participation in something. You know, because there's a lot of people who are bored with the game as it is, and I keep telling people, well, you gotta come up with your own things to do. It's just like Minecraft and any of these other games. You gotta come up with your own things to do, set a goal for yourself, or come up with a project to do, or something to make it so that you can, you know, continue enjoying the game that you love and have new things to do. So I think like a Galactic Racing League, where, you know, we get a bunch of people that come and, you know, use the carrier as their home base, and as we're going throughout the week of as we're going through the week doing our exploration stuff, we just stay on the lookout for different racing opportunities. Like maybe you find a really cool canyon that looks like it'd be really good for, you know, some ship racing, or you find some interesting terrain that would be really great for SRV racing or whatever, you know, something like that, or come up with some competitions that we can do, maybe some, you know, FPS stuff just out in deep space. I don't know, something like that. We could come up with some cool ideas for things to do. And it doesn't have, and like they don't have to be my ideas. I'm open to pretty much anything, just something that will make it so that we can all enjoy this game together a little more. If we don't come up with anything, then you just got to listen to me talk for an hour every time we do the carrier move, and I'll do my best, but I think some kind of racing would be much more fun. Some kind of racing or something like that would be much more fun. So yeah, we're going to get, I think this is the second of the 9 species on this planet. I don't expect to get all of them. To be perfectly honest with you, we'll probably get 4, maybe 5, because the other ones are probably going to be located in a different part of the planet. And usually it's just not really worth the time to go out, because you're going to have to leave the planet, come back, find another place to come back down, then come back down, do another atmospheric re-entry, and it's a time-consuming process because they decided to not put all of the biological stuff in an easy place to find. I'm not even going to go down that road. I spent the whole last episode complaining about things. I don't want to do that again. Looks like they have that stratum in here, though, so that should be relatively easy to find. But now we're back where the Clippius is, and I don't want to... Ooh, what's that? That was something... Is that different? So I was just complaining about this because the last planet didn't have everything right there, but this one does. So I mean, I can't complain now because this one actually has all of the species like right next to each other. Did I go far enough away? Is this like the same set of stuff that I just got? That's gonna be annoying if it's the same set of stuff I just got. I got distracted by all the stuff that's around here, so I have no idea if I actually flew far enough away for us to be far enough away for the genetic diversity requirement. I'm thinking no. Oh, no, we did. Okay. So yeah, we get one more of these, and we can just stay in this area and grab most of the samples that we need for the rest of this. And with the first footfall bonus that we're going to get out of this, that is super awesome. We're going to be making a pretty decent amount of money on this trip because of these 2 planets that we found here, I think. It would have been nice. I mean, obviously, I would much rather find like a Stratum Tectonicus kind of thing because that's a lot more credits. But we'll see how much money we actually make off of this. That's probably not far enough away. Let's, I think these, oops, I think these should be. So we'll grab this, and then whatever next thing is near, whatever the next nearest by thing is, we'll grab that too. And yeah, we'll find out what all's on, we'll find out exactly what all's on this planet, get them all scanned, and make quite a bit of cash to keep paying that, the relatively... Wait. That's the second time that I've done that. That's the second time in 2 episodes, or a couple of episodes, that I've done that. I don't know. When I'm sitting here trying to talk and keep things going and try to stay as interesting as I can be, sometimes I lose track of what I'm doing. And also, I didn't have my game window in exclusive always on top mode, so I couldn't see that the canister was completely empty. And I don't remember seeing the canister be emptied out either, so I don't know. And this is one of those things where it was my fault. I wasn't paying enough attention. I admit when I'm wrong. I try to anyway. I try to admit when I'm wrong. Clearly, I'm not paying enough attention because, you know, if you've ever done any kind of thing like this where you're trying to do something and have a conversation at the same time, it's very difficult to divide your attention. And especially with something as repetitive as hopping out of your ship to scan materials, it gets a little Stratum Paleus Emerald. It gets a little mind-numbing after a while. Ooh, make sure we're gonna have to scan some of that too. So we're gonna. I think I'm just gonna flip over and go back the way we came because there was a fair bit of stratum back in this direction. I didn't do that right. I pulled off on the wrong. I pulled off on the wrong thruster control. Let's see, can we find a landing spot? Where was it? Ugh, it's so fiddly. Come on, just let me land. There's plenty of room here for me to land. What? This is ridiculous. Like, look at this. It's ridiculous. Why do I have to come all the way over here to land? Just let me land. It's so irritating. Come on. Alright, where... I came over here. Okay, there it is. I stopped for the Stratum Tectonicus. Look how far I had to come over here to land. I mean, there is a better way. And I've mentioned it many times, but I'm not going to go back into it again. It involves hovering. Alright. That's that. We just need to grab one more of those, and then I don't think we've gotten the Clippius on this planet, so ideally we'll be able to land next to one more of the... Ideally the next Stratum Tectonicus we land by will be in another field of this Clippius, and we can start getting that. Then once we're done with the Clippius, I think we'll try to grab the grass, whatever grass it is. It's going to be, you know, tussock. Whatever the tussock in this game is the grass biology in this game. Along with the... There's another kind, it's the Frutexa. That's also a sort of like a grass kind of thing. Tends to be a little bit longer, a little bit taller. Okay, there we go, right here. So I'm gonna try to land like right here, as close as I can to this stuff. But of course, the close-up option is just the close-up area right next to it is always just a finicky pain in the butt to land in. I'm telling you now, though, if they ever get smart and make the Beluga liner like the premier exploration vessel and make it to where ship-launched fighters can actually land on the ground here, I would sell my fleet carrier today, go grab the Beluga, and you know, descend from orbit in the fighter and have that, or maybe descend from orbit. We could just leave the Beluga hovering over here on the ground, and I can just fly around and find this stuff. That would be way more fun than fighting to find a place to land, or you know, landing somewhere and then spending endless amounts of time driving around in your SRV. It's much faster to do all of this in your ship. Even with the fiddly landing, it's faster to do this in your ship. Which is why I do it this way, but it's so annoying trying to find landing spots sometimes. Like right here. Sometimes you get lucky, other times you have to spend like a minute almost sometimes just trying to finagle your ship into a spot. I'd be perfectly satisfied with a hover mode that drops that blue shaft of light down to the ground and allows you to simulate rappelling down to the surface and then climbing back up, and then, you know, getting hauled back up like a cable that drops down or whatever, and then your ship is just like, you know, several hundred feet above the ground. That would be pretty cool. I would be a very big fan of that. That would solve a lot of my issues with like different things, and I would be much more apt to take large ships out and try to do exploration in them if we could just do that. Because I have no desire to drive my SRV around. I don't enjoy that enough to make that something that I spend a lot of time doing. The SRV is cool, sort of, but at some point I want to do the most efficient way of getting things done, and a lot of times the SRV is just not it. Okay, that gets rid of this, and then I think we're right here next to some tussock, so we can grab the tussock, and I think that's the last thing that we get here, right? Everything else is probably going to be really far away. So we'll grab the last few samples, the last 3 samples here of our tussock that we need to grab. Tussock Virgum Yellow. Ah, you son of a bitch. All right, there we go. We'll find the last couple of samples that we need, and then probably head off this planet, and we might head back. I don't know. I'm on the fence about maybe heading back to the carrier. Probably not though, because oh, we didn't get that. Okay. No, we definitely did not get that, so I'm gonna have to look around for a second when we're done here. Okay, here we go. Fortunately, for the tussock, you can pretty much land in the middle of it, and it works out just fine. So we'll scan this one, get one more, and then ideally we can come back and find that, I think that's osseous. I think that's a type of osseous. So we'll, let's get this last grass sample, and then we'll go back and find the osseous and see what that is. Hoping that we can just kind of go straight in this direction and find the last of the tussock that we need. No, that's all Clippius. Oh, nope, here's a tussock. Let me land. Let me land. Oh my god. I know some of you are going to say, you just need to be more patient. I don't want to be patient. I shouldn't have to be patient. The computer should have the ability to just find the spot for me or something. I'm like, I have to be patient with enough things in my life. I don't want to be patient with this. It's my same argument with like difficulty and stuff. Life itself is difficult. Life itself requires enough things that you have to be patient for. I don't want to be patient. I want to just come in and enjoy the game. And it's not enjoyable to have to be patient to do this crap. It should be something I should be able to just come in, zone out, do it. And it's just like a time waster kind of thing. Like, that's what I want out of this game. I don't want something that is like super fulfilling. That's not the point of this for me. I want something that I can come in and just kind of zone out and do stuff for a while. I don't have to think about it very much. I don't have to put a lot of effort into it. I just come in and I play it for a while, and then when I'm tired of doing it, I turn it off and go find something else to do. That's all I want out of this game. That's all I want. But they went out of their way to make it something where they thought they were going to make it engaging and stuff, and all they did was just make it tedious. I saw a video. Someone did a video. I thought it was over here somewhere that we saw that. I thought it was over here that we saw that Osseous. But I don't. That's why I flipped around and flipped back and came back the other way. From the direction that we came from. I remembered seeing some, and I'm sure it's going to be around here somewhere because we're seeing a lot of the concha here now. So I have to imagine that we're going to see some more of those. Unfortunately, the render distance for the biology is just comically low, so you have to be right on top of it before it'll even render for you. Okay. Another arbitrary limitation placed into all of this to make it take a lot of time to get this stuff done. I saw a video where someone was talking about the travel system in this game, and they made a lot of the same arguments that I did. I feel like their solution to the problem, they mentioned a sort of galactic supercruise, which is something that I've mentioned as a better travel system than the hop from star to star thing, because it would make the travel experience as engaging as you want it to be. So you can point your ship in a direction and head that way and just let the ship go, or you could point your ship in whatever direction that you want to go, and as you're going, you can be scanning star systems or whatever as you're moving through the galaxy. He wanted to go a little bit more complicated than I feel is necessary because, I don't want to have to pay that much attention, and his solution for approaching star systems and things like that required a little bit more attention to detail than I really want to put in. But one of the big things that I got out of his video that makes sense, but I hadn't really thought about it before, was the difference between boredom and tedium. And I thought it was a very good way of kind of explaining kind of the difference between those two things. And boredom is when you're doing something you're doing something and it's not really engaging, but you don't really have to think that much about it, and you're just kind of doing whatever and you're bored. Tedium is something that you're not particularly engaged in, but it requires you to actively be paying attention to it. And that makes it and that's why tedium is much worse than boredom, because you can't just zone out and just let the time pass while you're maybe thinking about something else or maybe doing something else on the side or whatever. I mean, every game is going to have boring parts to it. It's going to have boring things that you have to do. It's going to have things that are not engaging, and there's no way to really make them engaging. And, it's stuff that's going to take time, and they necessarily require the expenditure of time, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that the approach that the developers took for this game basically makes it so that everything is tedious, not boring. Like tedious and boring. Like it's two parts of the same thing. So something can be boring, but it doesn't require enough of your attention that you can't maybe find something else to do while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. You're kind of splitting your attention, and you can alleviate your boredom by, say, watching another video or by maybe looking something up on a browser or whatever while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing that requires time, and it should require time, but doesn't necessarily need to require your undivided attention. tedium, everything in this game is tedious. Every boring thing in this game is tedious. They went out of their way to make it to where you can't really do it unless you only focus on that, and that's it. You can't think about anything. You can't be really thinking hard about anything else. You can't be looking at anything else. You can't be doing anything else. You have to be focused on the game. And I think that's a really bad way to approach it, because there's a lot of things in space travel that are just gonna be boring, and there's no way to make them fun or interesting. They're just natural requirements of, you know, getting from one place to another, or doing this task that, you know, isn't complicated or hard to do, but it just requires a lot of time. And you should be making those things easy enough that people can, you know, find something else to do while they're in the middle of that. So, for example, laser mining. Like, laser mining really shouldn't require any kind of real attention. It should just be something where you hop over there, and ideally there should be like an auto fire button or something, and you go over there and you press the auto fire button, and you just wait for the... And, for example, to make that easier, the lasers should be auto adjusting to where they should be auto adjusting so that they never drain your capacitor, right? Like, they should have the ability to be able to, based off of whatever kind of power setup you have, the laser only pulls as much as is required so that it's not draining your capacitor. And that way, you're not having to pay attention to it. You just you know, you just like toggle them on, let them mine the asteroid as fast as those lasers are capable of mining based off of your current power situation, and then you're done. And then when it's done, it says asteroid depleted, and then you're like, oh, okay, let me come back to doing what I was doing. Like, that is the kind of approach that you should take to designing something like mining. You're never going to make mining fun. You're never going to make mining super interesting. Yeah, you can develop these little mini games like the deep fissure mining and all of that stuff, but to be perfectly honest with you, that's only fun the first like 10 times you do it. And then after that, you're just like, can I just press a button and have some drones come out and do this for me, so that I can just, while I'm waiting for them to do that, I can be doing this other thing over here. They're trying to make every part of their game engaging, but you just can't. You can't make this game engaging 100% of the time. And the things that the things that are not always fun, like combat and things like that, really should be automated as much as possible, so that we can do those things and we can expend the time required to get those things done, which I'm perfectly willing to do, but they should be implemented in a way that doesn't require me to be actively engaged 100% of the time. And there are so many ways and so many different things that they could do to make that possible if they would just step back and say, you know what, let's go back and redesign these things so that they don't have to do this, because we shouldn't have to do it. Anyways, I've rambled on enough, and again, this is a weekend episode, so I'm trying to make them a little shorter, because recording all of these takes a long time. So again, thank you very much for watching. Hit the like button to spread the video out to more people. Subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Join the channel as a member for early access to videos, among other perks. Or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with the thanks button. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Deep Space Carrier series, and I'll see you for the next one.